I want to take a second to talk about The Boys Season 2. I mentioned it in last week's podcast, but this week's episode really rubbed me wrong. And I've had a dilemma when it comes to what I want to talk about on this YouTube channel versus on this podcast. And I have this problem where I really don't want to go at authors or actors or anyone that's creating art. I really don't want to use this channel to break people down or to lean into the side of YouTube that is reactive to rants and complaining or bashing a show or a thing. But it's really hard not to do that because I have some strong opinions. So I am going to break that rule. I usually try to only highlight things that I like and be positive. But this podcast, like I said, we're going off the cuff and it's a little willy-nilly and this is what you get. So anyway, The Boys Season 2 has been okay so far. It has a lot of the things that made The Boys Season 1 great, but it's kind of fizzled, mostly in the direction that it's taking. The direction of the plot is just not as strong as Season 1 was. Now, I'm not going to break down the season so far, but what I will say is that this weekend's episode was so meh. It was meh, and it was also annoying. And I want to explain why it was annoying in a way that makes sense. Because it's not about taking sides. It's not about espousing an opinion about the world or society or politics or anything like that. It's about the art. So about the art. How can I say this? It's not... I mean, this may be a spoiler. This is a slight spoiler. But it's not a major one. It's not for a major plot point. The episode this week, I believe it was episode 7, begins with a little montage of Homelander and Stormfront going all over these news outlets and at all these protests and shouting about America and railing against immigration and all these things. Meanwhile, you watch this guy, this random guy we've never seen before in the show. He's kind of fat. He's kind of unattractive. He kind of comes across like the directors want this guy to be an incel. They show that he doesn't really have anything going on with his life. He's just watching the TV and consuming this garbage entertainment. All these diatribes that are coming from Homelander and Stormfront. They're just talking about, yay, America. We hate all these immigrants and all this stuff, and they're saying all these abrasive things. And then this guy goes to like a convenience store and he's checking out, and he realizes that the person that is behind the counter is someone that is foreign, or he might think that they have immigrated to America, and he clearly is transposing what's been going on in the news with Homelander bashing immigrants. And because in the show, they have this problem where the bad guys or Vought has kind of created these super villains to kind of, it's like all a contrived thing where it's not like super villains arose to fight the superheroes, but the superheroes have pretty much created super villains to keep them in business so they have something to fight so they can get into the military. It's all really gross stuff, as with The Boys. That's just par for the course. But clearly this incel type character sees this foreign man at this convenience store, and he thinks like he puts the image that Homelander has been giving him onto that man and thinks this person is a terrorist super. And yeah, he sees him a couple times, and he finally sees him over the course of it's like a minute and a half little montage. He just kills the guy. He takes a gun out and he kills the guy because he thought he was a soup. And it's clearly like they're trying to say that he thought that he was getting so paranoid by the media and by what Homelander and Stormfront were putting out, and the way that it was influencing him. It was all he was taking in, that he had been almost radicalized to Homelander and Stormfront's agenda. And so yes, he kills this man, this clearly I think an immigrant type of man. I don't know where he was from. I don't even remember exactly what he looked like, but he kills him, and he goes, I saw the light in your eyes. You were a super. And he goes, I saw the light in your eyes. You were a super, and he's just like, he thinks he's doing the world a justice by killing this possible super villain that has snuck into America to undermine everything that he knows and loves. And yeah, and then we cut to the boys, and the rest of the episode is just the boys. There's really not much else to that. And oh my God, like, is that all you got? Seriously, writers, directors, who's up here? Like, is that all you got? This has absolutely nothing to do with politics. For the record, I think that everything going on in politics in America right now is a joke. It's pathetic. Everyone involved is a moron in some way, shape, or form. And yes, we're in deep trouble across the board. That being said, this attempt at art is a pathetic attempt. It's weak. It's weak. It's not creative, and it's not imaginative. It's not art. And before I get too ranty, I'll just kind of go down on that just a little bit. The Boys season 1 was really great because it had a lot of thoughtful takes and juxtapositions of different ideals and different elements of American culture and society. And it takes kind of a picture of not one year and not one event, but a lot of them, and kind of just takes a look at the culture that we've created over many years, and doesn't really offer a criticism. It just kind of shows a reality of it and takes it to its extreme in some elements. And it's been really artistic so far, and it seemed like it had some good things to say. It's also been incredibly fair. However, it becomes deeply uncreative when you start to take your art that is supposed to be sort of a window or mirror of modern society, and you start to just try to insert your opinion or your view of an event onto your art, and it's just copied and pasted. My problem isn't the subject that they were clearly trying to tackle, because if you didn't get it from my explanation, the subject is clearly exclusively them trying to paint a picture of the Trump administration and the propaganda that comes out about the Trump administration, and show what they believe Trump himself and whatever his ideologies and the people that like him must be thinking and want to do or be like. It is just so clearly they're just trying to paint a picture of what they believe America or Trump supporters are like. And I'm not here to tell you that that's not the truth, because it very well could be in some instances. I think both they and you guys know that it is not the case in all instances. And the last thing that I want to do on this podcast is talk about politics or defend Trump, because gross. First of all, gross politics. Second of all, gross Trump. I don't want anything to do with that crap, because the man is crazy. They're all crazy. I don't want them having any influence on my life, your life, anyone's life in any way, shape, or form. But I have to stay true to my perception of the way that, in this case, art should be handled. And I don't feel like art was handled here. And that's really what I have to say. Because when you start to just take clips from CNN and paste them onto your original show, it's just not creative. You're not accomplishing anything. You're not showing anything. They didn't create anything here. I guess that's my problem. I do not like shows or movies or messages that are just like, hey, look, this is what America's like. This is our life. It's just not creative. So yeah, I was just deeply disappointed in a show that, if you listen to last week's podcast, if not, I'll restate it. I have loved this show up until now, and I still love the show. I still think the show is doing a good job. I think that season 2 is weaker than season 1, but there's still plenty of potential for it, and I'm enjoying it. I'm not here to just complain a bunch, but I really saw that scene And I just had to sit there and go, really? Really? That's what we're doing? It was just like, for a show that is so imaginative, for a show that's so clever, it was like, we're just coming out and making like really bland, black and white, hardline political statements now. That's what this show is amounting to now. Like, I don't like, maybe this is a personal opinion. I'm sure it is. I don't like TV shows or plot arcs, movies, whatever it is. I don't like stories where they try to take and copy and paste something that they believe is going on in real life in our society and just paste it onto the imaginary version of society in their book in the perfect way that they believe it is. And it's just, it's not that it can't be true, because it may well be that their opinions and their perceptions of society are true. I'm not here to contest that. What I'm here to contest is that, like, it's so low effort. Like, am I crazy here? It just feels so lazy. So, yeah. Just do better. That's all I have to say. Do better. The Boys has done so much better than this in season 1. They've done better in season 2 even. And yes, this was a small 2-minute scene, part of a plot arc that I don't know where it's going. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but it can be salvaged. But I just really want to just do better. Okay? I will leave it at that.